In 1933, the President of the United States signed an order making it illegal for American citizens to own it. Not a weapon, not a drug, a metal. Franklin D. Roosevelt's executive order 6,102 forced Americans to hand over their gold to the government under threat of fines and imprisonment. For a brief moment, it seemed the world's oldest form of money had finally been brought to heel. It hadn't. It never would be. Gold's story isn't really about a metal. It's about every empire that tried to bend it to its will and failed. Rome repeatedly debased its coinage to stretch the treasury further. Citizens noticed. Trust eroded. The empire's currency weakened long before its armies did. Centuries later, kings across Europe repeated the same strategy by clipping coins, shaving their edges, and reminting currency with lower purity. Every time, the market eventually caught on. Prices adjusted. The illusion broke. Gold, it turned out, doesn't lie. It cannot be printed into existence, decreed into abundance, or conjured by a central bank's balance sheet. That single property made it something no ruler could fully own. They could only borrow trust against it. By the 20th century, governments tried a subtler approach: control by law rather than force. The Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944 pegged the US dollar to gold, while other major currencies were pegged to the dollar. For nearly 3 decades, it created the illusion that gold now answered to Washington. Then, in 1971, the illusion collapsed. President Richard Nixon ended the dollar's convertibility into gold, bringing the Bretton Woods system to an end. Not because gold failed, because the system built around it could no longer keep its promise. What makes this an investigative story is the pattern. Every institution that has tried to dominate gold, whether through confiscation, debasement, or treaty, has eventually been forced to loosen its grip. Not from mercy, from necessity. Gold's scarcity is geological, not political. No decree increases the amount buried in the Earth's crust. No stimulus package discovers new gold deposits overnight. That scarcity is one reason central banks still hold enormous gold reserves today. Not as a relic, but as a reserve asset and a safeguard during times of financial uncertainty. The institutions that create modern currency still quietly hold the one monetary asset they cannot create themselves. Roosevelt's order was repealed in 1974. Americans could legally own gold again. The ban hadn't erased gold's power. It had only proven it. A government had used the full force of law against a substance that simply waited, unchanged, on the other side. Perhaps that's the real investigation. Not what gold is, but what it reveals about every system built to replace it. Time and again, those systems bend. Gold does not.